Hey guys, it's Barrett with the Gimme Camper. So we're here at the first ever Keystone Cougar Rally in Shipshewana, Indiana, and we're at the Shipshewana RV Park and Service Center. And so I thought I'd do a quick campground review here. I will say that the rally's been great. There's more Keystone Cougars here than I've ever saw in one place in my entire life, which I guess is to be expected, right? There's a lot of nice people here, met a lot of people, made a lot of friends. Met a lot of friends that I kind of already knew from the whole Facebook thing, and it was good to talk to you guys and good to spend some time with you. I will say when I came in the first day I had an issue because somebody was in my spot here. I did actually show up a day early, but I called the campground and they said that they had an opening. My site was open, come on in and we can get it squared away. Their office was closed when I got here. There was somebody on my spot. Essentially, it ended up being somebody that had booked the wrong weekend because I just kind of politely said, you know, when are you guys leaving? Because I was told this site was empty. And they're like, we had these reservations for weeks. So I went over to the service center. I was just going to park over there. But my friend Steve with the Cougar Owners Group said, you know, come and take other Steve's spot for the night. And because he's not going to be here till tomorrow anyway. So we knew that site was going to be open. So I went over there and just spent the night. And we had one doozy of a storm that night. But when I was talking to the people over here, because there wasn't anybody here when I first got here, they're like, oh, we had these reservations for weeks. Well, apparently the next day, their son that was next door told me that apparently, I guess, Daddy booked the wrong weekend, so he booked the weekend before. The RV park told me that the site was empty. They called me first thing in the morning and said I could move over here because I'd left a message for them. They said that a lot of times what happens is people get it confused with the Shipshewana South RV campground and this campground, so they have a lot of issues there because you have kind of similar names. But all that being said, day 2, moved over in my spot, been here ever since. It's been great. All right, guys, so if you've never been to Shipshewana, Indiana, there's only a couple of reasons that you would come here. Number one, it's a large Amish community. I think there's only like 800 residents of the town of Shipshewana, but it's surrounded by a lot of Amish people. And apparently, from reading online, it's the 3rd largest Amish community in the country. So you see like horses and buggies everywhere. There's a lot of like nice stores and stuff like that down through town here. The other issue that you're going to come to the area for is this is like the RV capital of the world. Like most RV manufacturers, at least towable RV manufacturers, have a plant somewhere within 10 miles of here. So obviously Keystone's here, that's why we're here. I saw a Jayco factory, I saw a Lippert factory, I saw a bunch of stuff like that just driving around. I will say that attached to the campground, just on the other side of my gazebo here actually, is a flea market. The flea market's only open, I think it's on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and it's advertised as the Midwest's largest flea market. You know, I wasn't that impressed with the flea market personally. If you really like those things, then you'd probably love it here. It was seeming to be more like vendors everywhere, and not like private people. And a couple of the different stalls and things seem to have like the same stuff. It's like every other flea market you ever been to. They did have a couple of things that were unique. There was somebody that sold some wood signs that I don't know how they were selling them for $20 a piece and making money on them because they were painted. They had some for like Halloween. My wife bought one that was the flower for her freeze-dried candy business. But yeah, I don't know how they make any money at it, but that was nice. And then we did buy like some pickles from a vendor there that they were pretty good, but you know, a lot of it was the same old stuff that you see at every other flea market in the country. All right, so let's go over some general information on the campground. This campground's open from April 15th to November 15th. They do have a bathhouse. The bathhouse didn't open all of that time because of the winterization aspects of it, but you know, they do have one apparently. Now, all of these sites are pretty much what you see is what you get. They're not really big. They are on average for a normal RV park. You got like 8 to 10 feet of grass in between each camper, but they're mostly level. They're all gravel, which I don't mind. They're all full hookup. They got 20, 30, 50 amps at every site. They have water at every site. Apparently they have sewer at every site. We'll get into some of that in a minute with the nuances, but it's all there. They can apparently also accommodate rigs up to 50 feet long, so they are big rig friendly. In my mind, which I don't stay at a lot of full hookup type places, but it would not be a destination type campground unless you were wanting to come explore the Amish stuff or explore the RV community here, or if the flea market was the big thing for you. Apparently also they have weekly antique auctions over here, and they have weekly animal auctions as well. Another amenity that they do have here, which might be worth coming if you needed work done, is they have a 20,000 foot service center here on site. Now you do have to make reservations with the service center for any work done separately than your campground reservation. So you want to get that done ahead of time. Make sure they can get your work done on your camper while you're here. All right, so let's go over the negative aspects of the campground. There's not a lot of negative aspects of the campground. I mean, it's your typical larger campground. It's got 165 sites. Like I say, they all have full hookups. Now, some issues that you're going to run into is the placement of these utilities, right? So a lot of the poles for the power stations and stuff are going to be like right in the center of the area for your grass and stuff. So that's going to be, you know, an issue sometimes where you need an extension cord or something like that. Now, a lot of them do have shared utilities, so like my pole's the same as the pole next door, but they have different sides, so you can both like use your own plugs and stuff. And then the issue becomes the sewer, which I think is going to be the biggest issue here, for me at least. Your sewer hose, which I usually don't stay hooked up because I'm only here for a week. I can use my sewer almost normal and get a week worth out of it. So I just don't believe in leaving my sewer hose out if I don't need to. But I will say that the sewer hookup in most sites is going to be like right smack in your front door is your neighbor's sewer hookup. So my neighbors right here, it's not their fault, but they got sewer hoses sprawled out all over my front yard here, and like it's right in my front door is where their sewer hookup is. Why are you going to design a campground like that? I mean, it is going to be close to a lot of sewer outlets on the camper. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't like it. But that's my biggest gripe. I will say that I don't have any like favorite sites here. I don't have any sites to avoid because I mean each site here, they have a lot of pull-throughs. Mine's a back end. That's going to be your two basic differences. But as far as like the quality of the site and everything's pretty cookie cutter the same for all 165 of their sites. So wouldn't complain about that at all. So I'm just telling you guys that I'm here. And if you're looking for somewhere to stay in the Shipshewana area, I would think about staying here. So as far as rates, I will say they're pretty reasonable here as well. They're between $45 and $63 a night. You know, for a full hookup site, that's pretty common. So, you know, I like my time here. It's not somewhere that I would pick. I'd kind of like to be more out in nature a little bit. And I don't care as much about the full hookups, but you know, several of you guys do like it. And if you're coming to the area and this is where you want to stay, I think that it's a pretty nice area. So you're going to have a good stop here, especially if you need to use the service center or something. But yeah, you know, thanks for being part of our family. Thanks for checking out this week's video. And this is just a short little video showing you about the campground here, just because we happen to be here. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Do not forget to hit that subscribe button.